Yo,
Yo, what?
Hey,
we're here.
Oh, wow. That
What
was a
up?
great intro there, Dave. A
we're
little bigger.
back.
I just said yo.
Yo,
Yeah.
mama.
Yo, I feel like that was good enough. I feel like that was good enough.
It wasn't, Dave.
All right.
Well,
Well,
we're
hey,
gonna
listen. We're back for week 2 here of House of the Dragon. Hopefully, you're noticing something different from last week. We're actually here. We're on the screen. You can see us.
Yeah, it's much improved.
Yeah,
Dave actually has internet.
Yeah, I'm back in town. Yeah, I don't have to deal with hotel internet. So if you're here with us, if you're joining us for the second time, this is more like what the experience is. So
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Luckily, this cast is better because the show was actually worse this week. But we'll get into that in a second. Let's just do the intro for the podcast and get this thing going.
that is just so inaccurate. He couldn't even keep it going this long.
I'm just laughing at your fucking ugly ass. All right, here we go.
All right. Pull it.
Hello, and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents House of the Dragon, presented by HBO. I'm your co-host, the Human Dart, along with...
Jason Snot.
And David Disaster. Oh my god.
You had to leave the screen.
Dude, I did. I had to fucking... Dude, I mean, like, I started dying when you started talking. You're like, hello. Dude, I just can't do it sometimes.
Hey, hello, and welcome back. We're here for another episode of the House of the Dragon review, episode 2, The Rogue Prince.
Yep.
Look, man, let's just get right into this thing. Dave, what was your take on the episode this week? How'd you feel?
So last week, they did the unthinkable for me. They brought me way back in to Game of Thrones and gave me faith, or the game of Westeros, the world of Westeros, right? And this week, somehow, some way, it was even better for me than last week. Less violence, but more of the things that I'm into with this world, which is the political intrigue, the potential for backstabbing, and just kind of the lore building and laying the groundwork for yeah. And I have no idea who to root for, which is great. I love this type of stuff.
I think the show has done a good job of telling you who's worthless, and his name rhymes with Daemon Targaryen.
Excuse me?
Yeah, because all the work they did in the first episode. Let me give you a little. Let me just ruin this for you now. It's not going to be a Daemon Targaryen sweep for best character this week, okay?
Okay.
They just buried Daemon Targaryen.
Buried?
Buried. They buried him.
That buried is so just unreasonable.
Listen, this episode was fine, okay? It's definitely not better than the first one, and I have some issues with Weiss and Benioff's writing in this episode, okay? It was not good.
They're not even
They didn't write this episode? Oh,
No.
man. They didn't write this episode? You could have fooled me, all right?
Dude, I'm just going to turn off your camera.
They went for the issues.
But look. Overall, we discovered some things in this episode. We're 6 months along now, further after the last show, and we discovered that the writers don't like Daemon Targaryen anymore. So,
Dang. Okay, well, I
hate
this was a
Josh.
great episode. I have it right below the first episode, as far as how good it was.
so you would agree that this is the
Dave's
worst
point.
episode of the season?
Oh
Absolutely,
my god.
hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst episode of this whole season. Anyway,
I knew it.
This episode, though, is, to Dave's point, is really setting up a lot of what I think this show is going to offer, and that's the jockeying for position, the political backstabbing, people who trying to start figuring out who do you trust, who do you not trust, and then ultimately we're all going to have to pick a side.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, Jason, hit us with that tasty recap, and then we'll get into some of our favorite scenes.
I was gonna say gonna say fiery, just because I feel like that's no. All right.
Scene?
Would you
dragons?
Would you say this recap is Dracarys?
But anyways,
I'm sorry, y'all are listening.
It's been 6 months since the Queen's death. 6 months since Daemon was cast out of King's Landing. But it's also been 6 months of mourning for our Princess Rhaenyra and her father, King Viserys, as the relationship has become distant in that 6 months. But time has also passed for the realm, and pressure is now mounting for the king to claim a new wife. And Lord Corlys has offered up his 12-year-old, excuse me while I vomit, daughter to marry the king. Daemon, on the other hand, has been quite busy, taking residence in Dragonstone with a personal army of gold cloaks, a new potential wife, as well as a dragon egg stolen from the hatchery. As tensions mount, Otto, King of the Hand, is sent to Dragonstone to denounce Daemon's actions and demand the stolen egg be returned. In a boss move, Rhaenyra swoops in on her dragon, calls Daemon's bluff, reclaims the egg without bloodshed. But I would say we get some really big swerves right after this moment. To close the episode, we get the king announcing that he will take a new queen, Alicent, daughter of the Hand. Corlys and Rhaenyra storm out. Corlys wastes little time in aligning with Daemon to close the show. What could be a power move going forward. First, let's take Crab King out and maybe claim the crown.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this episode was absolutely Dracarys, Josh.
Yeah. Jason, as always, great recap. Appreciate it. All right, let's just get right into favorite scenes. Dave, it seems like you're dying to get there, so go ahead.
I have a couple. I think one of the bigger scenes is the kind of the initial showdown with Hightower and Daemon, flexing on each other.
Yeah.
And then you get Rhaenyra swooping in on her dragon, which I'm going to steal this from Jason. I'm sure he's going to bring it up. But the CGI on the dragons in the second episode, much improved. And it looks...
Daemon's dragon looked good coming down the mountain and like doing that scream.
Yeah, really good. But I just love the power move from Rhaenyra. And setting up that kind of tension. She was able to get in there and just take care of business, man. Hightower just, it was clearly going to probably end in bloodshed until Rhaenyra swooped in. And then, just a couple of scenes that Jason already had mentioned. So this isn't, I'm not stealing anybody's thunder here, but, the marriage announcement, which I really didn't expect. I expected the announcement. I didn't really expect Alicent to be named, but I should have saw that coming. And then, the ending conversation between Corlys and Daemon, when Corlys says, we're the second sons, Daemon. We have to take what we want. Nothing's going to be given to us at this point, essentially. I love that speech, and I love the idea of them. Again, it's the stuff I like with this world, right? Is the political intrigue and the backstabbing, and we're already getting that 2 episodes in. So, yeah, that's where it's at for me.
Hey, Dave, thank you for stealing my 2 scenes. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Fossil.
Look, I think the main scene is the standoff, Otto versus Daemon. If Rhaenyra doesn't show up, look, I think the Hightowers are down the head of the household.
Dude, I think I think Vince McMahon wrote that scene.
What?
Bruh, why do they make Damon look so fucking weak in this scene?
How?
I didn't think he did up until the time Rhaenyra shows up.
Yeah, Rhaenyra shows up. They have the little back and forth, and he's like, fine, I'll leave. And he turns around, and he turns back and throws the fucking egg at her. And it's like,
dude, that's...
what are we, 5 years old? Like, that is the weakest shit I've ever seen in my life.
You are way...
He will forever be the worst character in this show for the rest of the season.
Like, look, honestly, I think... And this is gonna, we're going into predictions now because you want to go off on the rails, but it's because he's in love with Rhaenyra, in my opinion. I think
that's why he turns around and throws the egg like a little baby.
Dude, no,
he's not going to kill her. She calls his bluff.
Yes.
Here, Dave, if you're just jumping ahead categories, let's go to least favorite character, Daemon Targaryen.
Okay, so I think it's very obvious that Daemon and Rhaenyra have some type of bond that is, I'll say, not typical. I wasn't going to go that far, but yeah, it's not typical of uncle and niece, right?
Unless your name is Targaryen.
Or you live in Alabama. No, but
fans in Alabama. We meant Arkansas.
Yeah, it was a joke either way, and whatever. I don't know. Nobody listens. But I think it's very clear that they have a thing, right? And to Jason's point, she calls his bluff because she knows it, right? I do think she felt a little bit nervous, like as he was kind of making his decision. Like I think she started to like maybe, oh shit, maybe I played my hand too soon. But what is your thoughts on that, Jason?
Look, I believe she was right from the start. She told the king, "Look, we have dragon riders. Just go over there." It's kind of like the Mr. Evil. Just give me the gun. I'll just walk over there.
Give me a gun. I'll just go in there and shoot him in the face.
Yeah, it's like, bro, we got like a dozen dragons. Just get on the dragons. You fly over there. You get the egg back. I mean, it's not that hard. I understand Josh's situation because I do agree that this scene it does make Daemon look weak, and I don't mean just by what Rhaenyra says either. Like he allows Otto to call his wife or gonna be wife a whore like 4 times, and I was waiting. The
whore wife turns her back on him and walks away.
Yeah,
in front of everybody.
He was tired of being insulted. I was waiting for him to give the Tyrion line or one more time. And
to give the Tyrion line, we would have to go back to a show that actually has good writing.
Okay.
So only the first 5 seasons or 6. I'm sorry.
I'll agree with Josh. I don't have a problem with his thought process, but I think we're going to have plenty of time going forward for Daemon to reclaim whatever machismo he might have lost.
Yeah, pencil him in. Least favorite character every episode here. Do we have any other favorite scenes from this episode?
No, I think that was the scene.
All right. What about favorite character this week?
I got a tie, but I'll go with my first choice, and it's not because he did something good. I actually hate what he did, but just for the fucking he pulled the rug out, and that's Otto Hightower. I mean, he got over on Corlys because he slow played it, but he injected his daughter into the situation right away, and he's been, I mean, like 6 months she's been hanging out with the king. And
building that relationship,
dude, he gave, and what sealed it for me that I knew I was gonna pick him as my favorite character is after the announcement, he looks straight at Corlys and gives him a fucking little smirk.
He gives him that, go fuck yourself.
Like, motherfucker, yeah, that's right.
40 chess over here, bro.
I know, I played you.
Josh, favorite character?
Yeah, my favorite character this week is unfortunately on the wrong side of that smirk. That's Lord Corliss. Yeah, I just, I mean, look, I liked, he was assertive. He wasn't afraid to stand up to the king this week. He's fighting for his family. And look, I get it. And look, it takes a lot for this show to like really like shock me or maybe even anybody these days. But like when they cut to the scene of the king talking to his daughter, and you're like, holy shit. She is young as fuck. Like,
well, so they showed her in the first episode, but I swear, I mean, I don't know if they said her name, but I swear they had, like, in my mind, I was thinking they had an older daughter that they were promising to him, and
I assumed she was older as well. I didn't remember she was in the first episode, but I just assumed she was, I don't know, 16.
That's so bad.
I don't know. 9. I mean 12.
Shit. But I don't know. Like
that was uncomfortable watching it. Sure.
My man's got some convictions right now. Unfortunately, he's pairing with the worst character in the show, trying to get some stuff taken care of. But I just did like his convictions and the way he stood up to the king.
I
love the line whenever Rhaenyra is like, "We have dragon riders." He's like, oh, "See, at least the princess has a plan."
Dude, that was good. That was good shit.
Sick burn, bro.
I'm going to take your segue. I'm going to say Rhaenyra is my favorite character of the week.
There you go.
She does, in that moment, have she slightly put in her place when she says that. That she basically ushered out of there. But she ends up picking, I guess, one of the main guys for the King's Guard, Kristen Cole, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And she basically tells the Hand, "Hey, listen, is this my decision? Okay, well, we're done here, huh?"
Yeah.
So I love that scene. I love the scene with her and Damon, even though it does make Damon look weak in this episode. I thought she came off pretty damn good in this episode.
I agree. Josh Corliss was my 1B as far as favorite characters. I gave Hightower the nod because he ultimately, he kind of won. He kind of won that little mini.
Game of Thrones for the day.
He won that little mini game right there.
He's definitely. I mean, I know we talked about this in the first episode. Identifying Otto maybe early on as maybe the little finger of this series is at least the schemer, and
he's living up to that.
Feels like we're heading that way, man. This dude's winning right now.
He reminds me of like Littlefinger by way of Tywin Lannister, kind of deal. Like because he was so good when he played his hand, because when they suggested Corliss's daughter, he was asked like, "Hey, what do you think about that?" And dude, to Jason's point, playing 4D chess, he's like, "Oh, their thought process is sound." Like, he's making it seem like he doesn't have an agenda when he really does, so that his honor will never be questioned, right?
But nobody knows that he's been sending Alicent to the king.
Oh, because
not even Rhaenyra.
No, because that's just between him and his daughter, right? He's smart enough not to fucking tell anybody. Dude, I love that shit.
I guess we're assuming also that Viserys doesn't know that Otto knows that, right?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Viserys, unfortunately, seems like he's a nice guy, and we know that that's just not going to work.
He's also dealing with some shit, Dave.
Yeah,
like his fingers rotting off.
He play the Game of Thrones, and you win or you die.
Yeah, he does.
Now he's not doing a lot of winning.
He does give me like not as honorable, but he gives me like slight Ned Stark vibes, and it's like, bro, you're gonna die. Like, it's just it's not gonna work out for you.
Yeah.
If not this season, later.
What about least favorite character?
It's a tough, because everyone here is strong for me.
I'm going to go with least favorite character for the single point that, I mean, he makes you not like him. in my opinion, that was Otto. He's my least favorite character of the week. I mean, he whored his daughter out, played the game, and he won. And
Fossil.
you can see
we're gonna go back to the '90s here for a minute, man. Don't hate the player, okay? Hate the game.
Yeah.
And look, and the I think the part that just that gets you is like what Dave pointed out. Every time he gets what he wants without saying it, he gives somebody that look. Like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Look, my least favorite in that same family is Alicent Hightower. I mean, she's supposed to be best friends with Rhaenyra. They're having a moment, right, where, you know, Alicent's like, well, what if your dad does remarry? Like, bitch, you know that you're being groomed for this. Like,
But do you think she knew in that moment?
Yeah, she's not dumb. She's been talking to the king for 6 months. Like, she's been asking her dad. Like, her dad's. She asked her. Her dad asked her, "Are you gonna go see the king tonight?" And she's like, "If you wish it." Like she. You can tell she doesn't really want to do it, but she can't confide in her best friend. Like, hey, Rhaenyra, just heads up. Like, I've kind of been talking to your dad for 6 months. Like, I know you haven't noticed, but because I'm doing it specifically when you're not around. Like, I don't know, just a shitty friend. And man, I have a feeling that their friendship is never going to be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that.
I have that as a question coming up.
Yeah, so do I.
Josh, least favorite?
Oof. So many to choose from.
Oh,
David.
yeah.
Daemon Targaryen.
Okay, yeah, I figured. I forgot that you had already penciled that in. So
Yeah, the weakest character on the show by a mile. All right.
God.
Any issues that we haven't already covered about the weakness of Daemon Targaryen or the youngness of the female from Corlys's family?
No, I didn't really have any issues.
I didn't. I thought this episode was great.
All right. Well, let's get into questions and predictions here. So, I mean, look, we just as an easy transition. How does this change, things between Rhaenyra and Alicent?
I think their friendship's pretty much over.
I agree. I think their friendship is done. Now, we know there's going to be a 10-year jump in this show, probably in this season, right?
Yeah,
so,
I read something earlier today. It says it's in the middle of the season, so it should be somewhere probably after episode 5.
So, I think their friendship remains tenuous, and then I think after the 10-year jump, I think it gets worse after the jump. Yeah, but I'm
assuming in that 10-year jump, she's probably pumping out some kids.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's only going to make things worse because obviously once there's a male heir in question, I don't think that's gonna be a good. It's not gonna be good for their friendship.
I get the feeling like Alicent's got this, this little conniving side as well. Like, we haven't quite seen it yet. She's played this nice person with the king, but I don't know. There's something about her to me that feels like she's gonna get this power, and it's gonna turn her a little bit. Maybe not quite to the Cersei levels, but
I don't know. Go ahead.
So to what you said just now, that's one of my thoughts that I was going to bring up. To this point, Alicent has garnered sympathy, kind of as a victim,
which is how I see her. I don't get conniving vibes from her.
My question was, do we think, and this is right in line with Josh's thinking, do we think she becomes more power hungry, or is she a victim, say, in the future, of the small council?
Ultimately, I think because they've dropped a little bit of, pseudo hints. I think Alicent sees Rhaenyra's life and is a little bit envious in the sense that, Rhaenyra in the first episode is like, I don't really care about my position. I don't really care about there being an heir. I don't care. Like I just want to
Yeah.
hang out and chill. And Allison
Well,
is.
we know, Dave, that jealousy is the road to the dark side.
That's right. Anger leads to hate. And I think Allison is being like mind fucked basically by her father, and
Or
like
do we think at some point she turns on her father and like fucking like turns the king on him and then gets him fucking like.
and then she kind of takes over that role of the conniving,
Yeah.
Tywin Lannister type. Cersei, I guess it would be more apt. Cersei Lannister type.
My thought on it
That wouldn't be bad.
is like I said in episode 1. She kind of gives away the hand there when she says, "Aren't you worried about your station?" It's like, well, why the fuck are you worried about my station? I don't know if she's going to be like Cersei evil.
No, I don't think so.
I could see her creating the rifts that need to be created. I think we could see a turn when she actually does become queen. I don't know. Like I said, Cersei level, no, I don't think so. But I do think that the innocent victim is going to be gone by the time we get to this 10-year jump.
Josh, I love your prediction of her being the one to kill her father, because I if we're talking about predictions a little bit, I think of all the people in this show so far, if we're gonna predict somebody to die this season, I pick Otto Hightower as the one to go, which kind of sucks because I do like his character, but I do think he's kind of playing with fire more than anyone in the show.
Yeah.
Hold on to that, Dave, because I have that as one of my questions going forward.
All right.
Well, you did mention you think Otto's going to die, but there's obviously one person who's like absolutely going to die. It's the goddamn king. Like, what's going on with the king's health?
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
what has he got?
He's going to survive the 10-year jump for sure.
So this is one of my thoughts here. It's not an issue, but I mean, can we get some Lysol or some disinfectant for the Iron Throne?
Or just throw a rug on that shit.
Has anybody created alcohol yet?
I don't know, but somebody needs to throw some boiling water on it. I don't know.
I mean,
put a throw rug on it.
Yeah, just
animal carcass.
I was saying this, like, you have dragons. You know that they probably shed some of their skin, right? Like, you got dragon scales. Like, just cover the thing in dragon scales, and it'll still look cool. But then you won't have to cut yourself. Didn't Joffrey cut himself on that throne as well?
I think so.
Maybe that's what killed him.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
I don't know. But
Oh,
I mean,
just
now this dude is
weird.
burying his hand in a bowl of maggots, bro.
Maggots.
Dude, that was brutal.
That finger, the one that the maggots end up eating.
His little finger.
That he cut. Yeah, it's the finger that he cut the night that he sent Daemon away.
Yes.
He's got some sort of he's got the plague. He's got some sort of infection. He's got something going on over there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of problems.
It's like rotting out, but
All right, so I got one. Before Otto left, he asked Allison if she will be going to the King's Chamber.
Yeah.
Now, she had been seeing him for 6 months prior. At this time, when he asks her, she kind of says, "If this is what you're ordering me to do." Do we think he was telling her basically, "I'm going to need you to go ahead and seal the deal tonight because the jig is up. I've already said that he can, go forward with this the 12-year-old.
yeah.
We're running out of time." Do you think he was basically telling her, "I need you to go over there and do whatever you need to do"?
I don't know. I get the feeling that she like genuinely enjoys the company. Maybe if she's become that good at scheming, then she's doing a good job. But I think she's genuinely reached the point where she enjoys the king's company. I mean, obviously to this point, I don't think it's become physical. I mean, okay?
I was just my question was, do you think that Otto Hightower was implying for her to bump uglies? Take that shit to the next level. We're running out of time. If you don't make your move now,
I think he knew that this was an opportune time to send her in, whether they were going to do it or not. He knew that he's really struggling with this. Like, I think he knew that he'd finally accepted that it's his job to go get married again, and he certainly wasn't sold on the 12-year-old, and so I think he saw this as like an opportunity to put somebody else in front of him.
When he is talking, who was it? Leanna? Is that what we decided?
Is Lena. Leanna, I think.
And when he says, when the king asks her, so what did your mom say about this? And she's like, well, you don't have to bed me until I'm 14. And I was just like, oh. Jesus Christ.
I think she specifically said, until for 2 years, basically, because she's 12. That's just.
What about the talk? Okay, so this is a question, and I'm just curious as the thought process. So we all assume that nothing physical had happened between Alicent and the king, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do we think when Rhaenyra comes back from Dragonstone, we get this interaction between the two, he seems very concerned, worried, like, what the hell were you doing? You're my heir. What had happened? Something had happened to you. Oh my God. And he seems frantic. Do you think that had anything to do with why he kind of rushed to be getting into the bed with somebody who he knew could immediately produce an heir, over waiting for 2 or 3 years for the 9-year-old?
I mean, we should just call her by her name, Leanna.
I don't know I don't know if we're ever going to see that girl again.
I mean, she's going to grow up, so I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, we do see the older version of her later because we discovered there is an older actress for her already.
Yes. We're trying to figure out how old the actual actress was. The younger.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
her age is actually not out there.
So, yeah, I mean, do you think that was a factor for him choosing Alicent over Lyanna? I think it's the combination of that and maybe his unknown illness. But that is an interesting question because I really hadn't thought of that until you said that, Jason. I do think that could have been a contributing factor because I can now very easily picture an argument between Rhaenyra and King Viserys where he tells her, like, look, you helped drive me to this resolution because you put yourself in danger, which puts the realm in danger, which puts our line, our lineage in danger. What else am I supposed to do, basically?
He says when they're having that discussion, he's like, when I do take a new wife, I need to make as many heirs as possible to protect our bloodline.
Protect us.
Yeah.
In your future. Because he's still backing her.
Supposedly.
I mean, in that
until a boy
moment,
comes, and then he's out.
Yeah, I predict that will change.
Yeah,
largely due to I predict largely due to I think Alicent may play a part in that, but we'll talk. I mean, we have no idea if that's going to happen or not later.
Well, okay, so that's my next thought is we've been kind of led to believe up to this moment that the war that might be coming is Daemon versus Rhaenyra or Daemon versus the king. I'm believing more on the line that the actual war is much further down the road when we have whoever Allison and the King, whatever boy they have, I assume. I don't know how many kids they're going to have, but if one of them's a boy, I think that's where the friction point is.
I think there's no doubt. I think there's no doubt that Allison and the King have a boy. Like that has to happen for the story to continue. Like because that's what is going to be the drama.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I feel like that's where the actual war is.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait. It's going to be so good.
I have 2 more questions.
All right.
This one will be a quick one, and then I'll get to the second reason why I think this episode was a little bit below average. But in passing, while they're having that conversation, walking through the gardens, we hear Lyanna talk about Vhagar, which is supposed to be like this other like super big dragon that I guess they've lost somewhere down the line.
It's the biggest dragon that's currently living.
Yeah. Do we think that was a throwaway line, or do
Nope.
we think that was a tee up for something coming later down this episode? This season.
100% we're seeing that dragon. Absolutely, no doubt. Yeah, I would bet it all that we see that dragon. If not this season, later.
Somewhere.
Okay, so question. Did I misunderstand? Isn't that dragon Viserys's dragon?
I did not take that from that.
The other big one,
Valerian.
Valerian.
Yeah, but that wasn't his dragon either. That was like I think that was like Aegon the Conqueror's dragon.
He was the last one to ride him.
He was the last rider, is what she says, which I take that as he was assigned Valerian. But no, that's not true, because in Targaryen fashion, I mean, they say it, that when a Targaryen is born, they put a dragon egg in the crib, and that's your dragon, right?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I thought like I said, I'm gonna maybe put the closed caption on, but it made it sound to me like that was his dragon, and he's just like, we got dragons. I don't need to ride a dragon.
No,
the dragon is somewhere around here somewhere.
That's not how I took that.
Okay.
No, she was talking about that one had died, and that they know that this is the only like living one that was nearly as big, Vhagar.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right. Last question here, and this whole thing just makes me want to vomit, and I hate every second of it. The Crab King. Let's talk about the Crab King here for a minute.
What is there to hate about this?
Did you see him, Dave?
I mean, I don't know if that's
do we
just
have to have another undead stupid storyline here? Like, what is wrong with this guy?
I thought it was just wearing a mask.
Dude, yeah, he's clearly he's
got
clearly wearing a mask.
issues.
I mean, look,
No,
he's probably got stuff going on with him, but like, dude, like this is a fantasy world. Like, who gives a shit?
Okay, this is like when you start running out of characters in fucking Batman, and like you start having to go to like the sea level characters, the crab feeder, like that's what we're scared of right now. This guy who's killing Westerosi pirates.
Nobody says we're scared of him. They're not trying to.
Do. Yes, they do.
They just want to deal with him.
And Damon have that conversation.
They don't say that they're scared of him. Give me a fucking break.
I will agree with Josh that this is stupid. If this guy has like a crab leg for an arm, he's got like a crab pincer for a fucking hand or something.
Does he? I didn't notice that.
I don't think so. From what I understand, this guy is just a pirate who has some kind of affliction, and like the Boltons who flayed their enemies, this guy puts his victims on nails them to not a cross. It's just a plank of wood.
Something,
and,
yeah.
And the crabs feast on them while they're alive still.
Yeah, dude, that's a brutal way to die.
Yeah, that's got to be like, dude. I mean, I swear that I saw that, and I'm like, man, that's cool as shit. Like, it's brutal as fuck.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, hey Westerosi,
see how. Have to wait to see
I'm gonna nail you to this piece of wood, and I'm gonna let these crabs come eat you. It's stupid. It's
okay.
Dude. It's worse than love sausage.
I think you are like purposefully, like, I don't know, just trying to find something to hate at this point.
No,
I'm not. I'm
not. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
That's reaching as fuck.
I'm gonna wait to see how it plays out.
I mean, you literally didn't really get to see anything, and you're already passing a judgment.
Yeah, look at him.
Okay, so you're literally judging a book by its cover.
Yes.
Job.
It's a show about a book. That's what we're doing.
Good job.
Okay, so this is my last question. I think we're well aware of most of the players that are involved at the moment, and removing the king. Dave's kind of already put in his vote, but who do we think is the leading candidate to die this season? That is at least one of the established characters that we
besides the king.
There's no way we get through this whole season without anybody dying. And
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks that the king is going to die.
Yeah, I mean,
Whether it's nefarious means or old age or
this disease,
another gangrene.
He's looking bad.
I'm throwing Otto Hightower in that hat. I think I just think he's just the one who's playing the game the most dangerous. Because I'm just thinking, like, of all the people playing the game, if they were found out what they did, like, how in trouble would they be? And as of right now, I think he is the one. Now, Corliss kind of talking to Damon, but I'll let y'all pick y'all's people.
Gosh.
Yeah, Corliss could be a good one. I don't know. I mean, I hadn't thought about much because, look, the king is already going to be a pretty big death in the show, even though it's kind of being telegraphed right now, which would almost lead you to believe that maybe
he gets cured.
Maybe that's too obvious of a choice, or maybe he stretches into season 2. Yeah, and then but I just feel like Otto is already becoming like too necessary to the show to lose him in the first season. I don't know, man. We know somebody's got to die.
I agree with you, which makes me just think of Ned Stark. Too important to die.
Yeah.
Until his head got lopped off.
I know. Look, I'll go with the worst character in the show. I'll go with Daemon Targaryen, nailed to a piece of wood, dying by crab.
I'm going to say it's like 0 chance that Daemon Targaryen... I'm going to say 0 chance Daemon Targaryen... Put this on here now. Daemon Targaryen does... Assuming the show lasts this long, he doesn't even die in the first 3 seasons.
He'll almost be dead, and then Doctor Who shows up in the telephone booth and saves him.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go with Corliss. I don't truly think he's gonna die, but it's between him and Otto, and the only reason I'm gonna go with Corliss is simply because then you interject his wife, who was the queen that wasn't named or whatever her title is.
The queen who never was.
Yeah, that never was. I think that's an interesting dynamic. If she ascends the seat, the Driftwood seat, she becomes a player in this. Who's the last man standing to take the Iron Throne? I mean, man by whatever. I just mean whoever the last person is. You know what I mean?
I like Corliss as a character so much, and I think man, I feel like him and Damon like tag teaming. It's gonna be too entertaining. I don't think either one of them go in the first season, personally.
All right, so I get. Does anybody have any more questions?
I got nothing.
Nope.
What do we think we got next week? Like, where do we think we're going?
I think right now, like, the main stuff is going to be a little bit on hold. I think until we get our 10-year jump, I think the main resolution is going to be this whole Crab King and the fallout with Rhaenyra and Alicent, and something juicy has to happen right before the 10-year
Yeah.
jump. Something real, like, serious, I think.
Do we get another time jump in this next episode?
I
Or
mean,
we just pick it up where we left? I mean, this last one was 6 months. I don't know how far we need
because
to go.
they said he was going to marry Allison in the spring. So do we move ahead to the royal wedding?
yeah, but you can't move too far ahead because you got to deal with this fucking Crab King thing.
Hey, this is what I was thinking. Do we really need to see a royal wedding?
Yes, because you
Every
need
time there's a
to.
royal wedding, something good happens.
Because you got to see Rhaenyra, and you got to see Rhaenyra react to them saying their vows and shit.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't know if we're going to get a time jump in this next episode, but I just don't think we're going to get this royal wedding.
I do.
I don't. I think what we're really going to be establishing is Daemon, as far as going and fighting this Crab King for the Free Cities or whatever. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get a time jump. I think we're going to be switching more to the Daemon storyline, and then eventually we'll be like, oh, hey, look, they already got wed, and she's pregnant.
No. I don't think they're gonna pass that up. That's because that's too juicy of drama.
Yeah, I agree.
And once you've seen two or three, weddings, you don't need a fourth.
Dude, you can't attach this to Game of Thrones and say that. You gotta treat this as an independent thing.
Dang it! I forgot to mention one thing in best scene earlier. Dude, the intro. We're back.
Oh,
The
hey,
song
yeah.
hits right off the top. Oh, so good.
The intro was rock solid too.
I was like, fuck no.
Yeah, the intro was rock
And
solid.
They used the original soundtrack, as far as I know.
Yep.
I'm still not exactly sure what it was we saw, though.
Oh, it's all the blood, but because I think it's supposed to represent like the bloodline, all that shit.
Yeah.
What were those? Because it had little
Like symbols on the. Yeah, I'm not
were
sure.
those people,
Well,
like a family tree.
I have no idea. I'm assuming that somebody online will probably crack that code. It's probably already out there.
Probably. Be lazy to look it up.
Well, hey,
All I know is
hopefully,
I'm excited.
hopefully you like the episode here. We're all looking forward to the next episode of Daemon Targaryen's, like
Is it Joe's
becoming less of a good character. I'm joking. I mean, he does suck, but I'm joking. Okay, but hey, we'll see you guys next week and talking about episode 3 of House of the Dragon. Live long and prosper.
Take it easy, everybody.
Later.